Hi guys, good to see you again. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Lake District and Buttermere more precisely. I've wanted to come here for such a long time and I had a bit of work yesterday in Glasgow and I thought if I can get the job done in a day, I'm going to veer off into the Lake District and come and visit Buttermere on my way back home. And yeah, it's worked out perfect. So I got into Buttermere last night about 8:30, 9 o'clock. It was just getting dark, so we had the night in the van, Bandit and myself, and oh, what an absolutely beautiful morning. Alarm set for 4:30. Got down here for first light and hope, you know, for blue hour, and I was obviously hoping for some nice colour in the clouds because we're facing east, obviously where the sun's rising, and never really happened unfortunately, but it's just beautiful to be out here on the side of Buttermere. I've wanted to come here for such a long time, and there was a little bit of colour in the clouds, but nothing like what I was hoping for. I did come here originally to photograph a lone tree, which is just round to my left here, but didn't do my research properly, and between April and June the footpath is closed off for ground nesting birds, so I can't get to the lone tree unfortunately, but it's still making a lovely vista. I've bracketed the frame, so I've exposed for the mirrored finish and the reflection and the hills, and then obviously a second exposure for the brighter tones in the sky and the bit of colour that there was. So yeah, a two bracket image. And now that the sun's risen a bit, I've popped the 70-200 on because it's catching a peninsula lovely and catching the trees on the peninsula. So yeah, I've zoomed into about 150mm just to capture the light that's hitting those trees lovely. And well, it's just a stunning morning, absolutely fantastic. Hardly anyone here. I did meet one guy. Nice to meet you, Matt. He comes here quite a lot and he knows the fells quite well. He does a lot of running around the fells, so yeah, he had a few good stories to tell me and a few good tips for this local area. And I did say I wanted to perhaps stay here for a sunset shot somewhere, and he recommended Whitelist Pike, which is just the other side of Buttermere. So I think that's going to be the plan. Bandit's ready for some breakfast and so am I, so we're going to head back to the van, grab a bit of breakfast and some coffee, get the batteries charged, and then I think we'll head up Whitelist Pike, and it's about a 2.5-3 mile hike, Matt said, so yeah, I think that's going to be the plan. Get back, have a refuel, and then head up Whitelist Pike. So thanks ever so much for all your information, Matt, really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and be in touch on Instagram. I'll pop Matt's Instagram handle in the description below and go and visit his images. He's got some stunning imagery of around here, so yeah, job's a good one. Right, we'll head back to the van and get some breakfast. I'll pop a few images up now, guys. So I've had some breakfast and a couple of cups of coffee to refuel. Obviously we've got quite a few hours yet till sunset, so I've headed east about 4 or 5 miles from Buttermere, and I've come in search of an old water mill. Seen lots of images online and it looks absolutely beautiful. Not sure how much water will be flowing today, but still be a good recce run. And thanks for the heads up and a bit of info from Steve Paston. He's let me know exactly where it is. Well, hopefully I'll find it. And I know James Marsh helped Steve find it last year, so between the pair of them, thank you very much, and let's go and see if we can find it. What a lovely little mill. As suspected, unfortunately, there's hardly any flowing water, but I'll have a walk around and see if I can get a nice composition. Might have to go quite tight into where there is a little bit of flowing water, but definitely worth a go. Well, it's such a shame there's hardly any water flowing through, but I'm so pleased that I've found it, and I'm actually here, seen so many images of it, and it's just nice to be here. Definitely be back in the autumn or in the winter, but I've had to take 4 separate bracketed frames, because obviously it's quite harsh light, middle of the day. I can't quite escape not getting some of the sky in, so I've bracketed for the sky and the clouds, so really fast shutter speed. Then I've focused on the mill itself, again altered the exposure time and got the tones right and the light right for the mill itself. Then I've took another one for the moss coloured boulders, which is a bit closer to me. Again, I focused on the boulders, and then crikey, the sun's come out now, look, woo, it's in and out all the time. And then the 4th exposure was for the rocks in the foreground that are they're obviously really dry at the minute. Now I've gone dark again. Obviously really dry at the moment, so I've taken an exposure for the rocks as well. I'll blend all 4 of them frames together in Lightroom and then export them into Photoshop and have a bit of a play about in post. Fingers crossed it should work. I say it's a shame there's no water. I've got the variable polarizer on it. There is a bit of a rock pool right in front of me in the foreground beneath the mill itself, so I've made sure that I've taken all the sheen off that with the polarizer. So here comes the sun again, crikey, it's keeping me busy. So yeah, between the 4 images, get them merged, fingers crossed we should be all right. I'll pop the image up now, guys. So I've just been having a walk round and trying to imagine what it would look like during winter when the stream is really flowing at its strongest, you know, when the majority of this area here will be white foamy water. And the benefit of this angle now, I quite like these trees, the way that they're framing the mill slightly, so that's quite nice, quite attractive. And not only that, but I've managed to eliminate the majority of the skyline now. So I bracketed for these rocks here and then bracketed for the mill itself, so that sort of exposure perhaps. And obviously the lighting on the mill is very similar to the rocks, so no need to do 2 brackets there. And then I bracketed for the backdrop, so just turn that down and something like that. So that's quite nicely toned at the back. So yeah, I think I quite like these trees, the way it's sort of framing and it's the same shape as the roof itself, if you like. So if you can imagine with the water flowing down here, it might make a nice frame, that. So I'll have a go at that in post and pop it up now, guys. Right, well, we're just leaving Buttermere village now in an attempt to get up Whitelist Pike, and already I've been stopped by this lovely waterfall, but I'm going to press on. Leave that for another day. Right, the skies are looking a bit black actually. It's meant to be clearing up, but anyway, I've got the waterproof, so we'll see how we get on. But anyway, let's press on. Well, I spoke too soon. A sudden hailstorm shower, so I'm just taking cover next to this giant oak. He seems to be keeping me dry until it passes. There's blue sky all about, but yeah, never trust the forecast, eh? Well, another 10 minutes has gone by, and as you can see, if I peek round the corner, look, there's still lots of hail showers about. And I'm stood next to this pine, not an oak. Get your trees right, Mark. This gigantic pine's keeping us pretty much under cover, so it'd be a shame if we don't make it up there, but it just shows how quick the weather can change in an instant. But I've got the stove and I've got some coffee if I need to get warm, so yeah, we're just getting a nice trot on as well, heading up. But anyway, we'll give it another 10-20 minutes and see if it passes. Well, we're off again. It's just drizzling now, so it's not too bad, but already the views. Look at that, if I get out of the way. Absolutely stunning. There's showers all over the place, so anyway, we're on the go again, getting warm again, so see what's over this brow. Well, I've just stopped for a breather, and it's actually quite emotional really, because there's no way I would be up here if it wasn't for photography. I owe photography so much, and you get so much more out of it than images really. I mean, look at it's just stunning. The views are absolutely stunning. I think it looks like the hailstorms were quite heavy up there. Sort of almost looks snow-capped. It's probably just thick hailstones, and the same behind me as well. But anyway, as you can see, we haven't got far to go really. I think it's 660 metres, Whitelist Pike. So, but it's just phenomenal. Just lost for words really. But and for all the aviation fans, this morning we had 2 F-15s fly through over Crummock Water and then straight over Buttermere. Absolutely fantastic. That really did make my day, 2 F-15s. And then this afternoon we've had 2 Hawks come through, really close in formation. So, and a Merlin. We had a Merlin helicopter come through, so definitely a low fly zone across here. But yeah, any aviation fans, it's worth coming here just to sit on these hilltops to wait for the aircraft. But a lucky day perhaps. But anyway, I could stop here all day, but I'm sure we've got even better views if we carry on. So there's lots of blue sky about now. I don't know if I turn that down a bit. Turn it down, look, there's blue sky there and blue sky behind us now. So it's just like that, it's clearing up again. So anyway, let's carry on marching on. Well, made it. Not quite to the top. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but there's a little bit more to go. But it's took about 3 hours to get up here, and I'm going to stay till sunset-ish, see what happens with the light. So, and then I've got to get down. Obviously, I'll probably be able to get down in half the time, but I'm not going to climb that extra 100 metres. This is plenty good enough. And Matt did say, actually, kindly, he said, don't go right to the top because the vista does change a bit and you can't see all of Crummock Water. So, as you can see, Crummock Water is already disappearing a bit. So I'm going to get a coffee on. I mean, there's a lovely storm over there. Let me just turn that down a bit. Look at them storm clouds. Absolutely super. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Time for a coffee now. There's already some lovely light on the peaks there, so yeah, absolutely smashing. But get the stove on, have a rest and see what happens. just hunting around for a nice composition for when the sun's setting. I'm hoping that it's going to stay clear in the west and the sun's going to bless the peaks all around Buttermere. And I'm looking for, apart from Bandit, I'm looking for something in the foreground, and I'm thinking this slate looks absolutely beautiful. But I'm struggling to get a nice composition. It's more difficult than I thought it would be. So I'm just judging on the light now. Obviously, as the light goes lower, the sun goes lower, less of the peaks are probably going to be lit up. I don't know, but I was thinking of this on the left-hand side of the composition, and then obviously the peaks hopefully lit up a nice orange colour in the distance. But we shall see. I'm just having a hunt about and seeing what I think might work. Well, I've just been having a wander around with the 70-200 now. The light is changing so quick and it's so fast. Here comes the sun now, look. Wow, absolutely amazing. Oh, it's just grand to be up here. I'll pop a few frames up now, guys, that I've caught on the 70-200. Well, as you can see, getting some superb light now over Dumfries and Galloway, over the Galloway Hills over there. Some lovely beams coming through the clouds. I am keeping an eye on behind me because there is just a little bit of light appearing behind. You can't really see there. Oh, you can just see there. Look, where are we? There, bit of light coming on the hillside there, but it's all happening over towards Scotland. So I've just got the 70-200 on, and I'm just firing away because the light's changing so quick. I'm going to put you down and carry on. The light's just temporarily gone behind the cloud now, so there is a little bit of light appearing now behind me, the other side of Buttermere. So, oh dear, it's all happening. I'm just bracketing on the 70-200 handheld. Got the image stabilizer on, set to 1, autofocus. I'm at f5.6 at 200, ISO 100 at the moment, so I'm getting away with it just, but it is getting quite dark now. And I'm not quite sure if that's about the lot, I think. There's quite a big cloud base over now, Scotland way, so where the sun's setting in the west. But I think I've got some nice glow coming off the sun and some glow underneath the clouds towards the west over Loweswater, so fingers crossed, might be 1 or 2 good frames. But I'll just hang about for a bit longer and see if anything happens in the east. Well, as you can see, the light's totally gone now. I have still got the 70 to 200 out just in case anything happens. There's a little bit of red sky over the Galloway hills, but I don't think anything's going to happen now, so definitely time to head back before it gets too dark. Got about an hour's walk, I should think, so it might just be dark by the time we get to the van, but got my head torch, got my gloves and my hat, so we'll be all right. But what a fantastic day, absolutely brilliant, thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll be back here soon. I keep saying that about every place I've been to lately, but I've been to some cracking places, but you can't really beat the Lake District. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you could remember to give the video a like, that'd be much appreciated, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of the same content. That'd be brilliant. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Have a great week. Take care. Catch up soon.